how does one get success, right? And how it can happen overnight, and how a constant steady work can go into it. And there's a lot of different factors, and I think it always comes down to being entertaining. I think that's the number one goal. It's about having the right timing. It's about having the right energy, about having the right... There's a lot of things that go in. I don't think it has anything to do with looks. I mean, looks do help. Of course, they can help. But I think that if you're not entertaining, those looks will have diminishing returns. It's like, oh, well, you're a hot chick that just fucking watches videos. It'll work for some people, but most of the time it's not going to work. Like... Sniper Wolf, way before she ever started doing the bullshit watch everything and be bored, she was like doing her other fucking titty streams, and then she was collabing with everybody. She did a lot of work to be that fucking lazy. There was a lot of build up to that laziness. Now, again, like if she would have started by watching shit, she probably would have gotten a boost, probably gotten to like 10, 20k, 100k subs, and then she would have just died off, and her channel would be sitting at each video have like 1,000 or 2,000 views. It's about how do you get that fan base, and how do you keep it, and how do you keep it growing. And the way to keep it growing is by being consistently entertaining. Now, this might say completely different things, but this is a video about how a nobody went from 2 to 6,300,000 fans. All about CaseOh, the streamer.
There are 3 things that happened between September 2022 and today, each more important than the last, that made it all but impossible for CaseOh to not see stardom. CaseOh went from creating a fresh Twitch account with 0 followers to streaming to 65,000 live viewers with the most wholesome, creative, and supportive community Twitch has ever seen in just 2 years. How can a nobody become a somebody so fast?
Because the reason I even tried it again was because that weekend she said, why don't you give streaming another try? Just upload some clips, you're funny, see what happens.
Well, and here's the thing, I know I'm not over successful yet. I'm still growing. And there was a moment where I was doing all this stuff, and it was like my first, like I didn't really consider that my first year, like that was my first year on YouTube, but I don't think anything I did there was actually conducive of what I wanted to do. I just was kind of doing stuff, and I had this realization one day that I was going to do an actual video. I was going to actually try to do something. I was going to put effort into it. I was going to make a fucking good YouTube video. And I'd made a video called Why Don't You Shouldn't Play the Warriors on PS5, and it was like that was a changing point for me. It was like, okay, this is I was still doing the slop after that. I was still just like trying to hit a daily uploads or whatever, but there was something about that video that I worked, it wasn't the hardest working video. I was very mad, and I felt like I broke some issues down that I really cared about. And I'm like, yeah, dude, that was good. And after the success of that, I thought I liked doing like a review. I liked doing a review, and I really enjoyed watching other people's retrospectives, and people like G-Man, Civi11, and all these other people that I'd watched for years. And I was like, I'm gonna start doing shit like that. And I started actually like putting more effort into my content, and I had made the decision. I remember the video that I actually made the decision that I was gonna start making better content and stop slopping a video out every day. I was on The Witcher 2. It's in my season 1 playlist. When I did The Witcher 2, I said that from after I finished that video, I said, from this moment on, I am taking this seriously. This is my moment. I'm gonna do things for if this works, I'm gonna start taking this more seriously and start putting more effort into this, and I'm actually gonna give this a go. And if it doesn't work out, if I don't see some decent substantial growth over my first year, if I'm still hovering around 100 subs, I will cut it off. I will be done. And it worked. The video did really well. And I slowly started getting that ball rolling ever since. And the reason I started this type of content was I wanted to give more value to my audience. And you might not think this type of content's valuable, but I started noticing a lot of bigger creators did this. You got a lot of your stream creators clipping their stuff and putting it on YouTube. And I said, why am I not doing that? I stream. I can be entertaining. I fucking come on here and make the best jokes ever. So why don't I keep doing that? And it's all about this growth process. And it's all about how do you consistently keep getting better. And that's something I want my audience and every audience out there to know. Just keep getting better.
Mount Everest is underwater. Buddy, what?
CaseOh is commonly the butt of the joke. He's very rarely seen putting others down, and his most viewed clips are at his own expense.
What'd you just say to me, buddy?
I said, I just hope the beam doesn't break.
Why would it break?
No? Jump, come on.
No. Why would the beam break? Explain. Chat. Dude, am I that large? Oh my goodness, there's no way I'm this large.
So why is this
Dude, before I get to that, if I hold my keyboard up, right? Dude, my hands, bro. My hands are so small. I got little fucking baby bird hands. I'm over here with the smallest little baby hands imaginable. Look how fucking... I have child hands. I look like those stupid TikTokers that put the little baby hands on. I got these fucking micro hands that are absolutely worthless. They have no utilization. They're not good on anything. The only thing they're good at is making my micro penis look big. That's it. That's the only value they bring to me. And I saw CaseOh's giant hands, and I'm like... unfortunate. But if he has a small dick, that's big sad because he can't even see it while he's stroking. And like everybody likes to see what they're doing sometimes.
important? Well, let's think about a late night conversation. When one person begins to open up, it's met with the same. There's a huge difference between answering these comments with legitimate hatred and being a good sport and even playing into the joke. One side says, this is no place for imperfections or insecurities, not yours, not mine, no one's. And then walls go up between the streamer and the chat and more division is created. The other says, my walls are down, poke some fun, I don't mind being vulnerable. And after a little time, chatter's walls come down as well, and then a connection is made. This is how the scenarios are created, where I call CaseOh dumb in chat, everyone laughs, but then one of my friends calls CaseOh dumb in real life, and I beat him to a pulp, because no one talks about CaseOh like that.
Hey, there's something about being in on the joke. There's always something about being in on the joke, and that's what it comes into entertaining. It's about having that back and forth. It's one of the reasons I always try to engage with my chat as much as fucking possible. I love when people come in and make fun of me, and I'll make fun of you back, dude. I will be a little toxic back, and it's like, I want you to know if you're ever in here and I try to make fun of you back, I love you. I don't hate you. There's no hate in my heart, dude. I just want you to have a good time. But if we were going to be making fun of me, I'm going to be making fun of me. I'll make fun of you a little bit. It's just fun. It's just fun. That's what you should do. You should be able to like come in and it should be a fun experience.
If you want to ride a wave, you need to be in a place where waves form. CaseOh's first live stream was to almost 80 people. How is this even possible? People stream every day for years to one viewer and don't see any growth. When CaseOh finally decided to begin streaming, he did not open Twitch. He opened TikTok. 2K was just coming out and he knew no one would ever be able to find him at the bottom of the queue on Twitch. He knew his time would be better spent on getting discovered. He jumped right on the wave of 2K, uploaded 3 videos which were funny moments of Case pretending to be streaming 2K. TikTok's algorithm, desperate to serve the hungry 2K audience with content, scooped Case up right away, and the next morning he woke up to 10,000 followers. CaseOh seized the opportunity and went live to catch the wave he had formed from not only 2K, but the huge wave that had formed from TikTok. Over time, he saw his streams start to decline, going from 900 all the way down to 150 viewers. Case knew he had to switch up his stream. But how do you switch up a stream successfully in a place where there are no waves? Case decided to follow the exact same formula that gave him success the first time around. Hogwarts Legacy had just come out, and a viral Hogwarts Legacy TikTok sent Case a viewer bump of 450. Eventually, he was able to start stream up, leading with Hogwarts Legacy, which no longer branded Case as a 2K streamer. His narrow lane was now an open field.
And that's something important. Don't ever... So there's this thing about niches that people will tell you. And this is something that I've vehemently fought against on my channel. And I think that I've actually seen good growth because of it. And I've noticed that a lot of people that I've always like watched don't just make one type of content. Your massive creators don't just make one style of content. They do a bunch of different shit. Now, I know a lot of people are like, oh, you gotta find your niche. You gotta find your niche. Your niche is great, but it has a stopping point. Like, in some cases, like your Mr. Beasts and stuff, yeah, it's a little different. But you can look at so many channels that are overly massively successful, like your Moist Criticals, your Some Ordinary Gamers, your Oompavilles, where they branch out to so many different topics, so many different things. Your Wendigoons, where they're honestly always doing different types of stuff, and people tune in because they want to see them. And it's not, they're not there because of the topic, they're there because of the person. And I think that that's what I've really wanted to do with my channel. I know that I'm over here just fucking, well, I'm a silly fat guy that fucking makes my small penis jokes or whatever. I want people to want to hear those small penis jokes. I want people to want to, like, oh, is he going to talk about cum nados? Or is he going to talk about how, like, weird pastors jerk off from the ceiling that for some reason they're demons and like to crawl across the semen. There's already semen on the ceiling that they crawl across. That's how they're able to stick. But it's like, I want people to come and enjoy it, and I want there to be enough different stuff to where I'm in enough different little locations where they're like, oh, he's funny, I want to go see him. Oh, well, this part of his, this different type of content that he does is good, I'm going to check that out. Oh, he's uploading his opinions on this political issue. Oh, well, that's interesting. It's kind of, yeah, it's like, I can have a million different perspectives and a million different ways you can see me, and different reasons you can enjoy my content. And there's, for almost anything, for anybody and everybody, I want there to be some sort of content out there for them. And I think that a lot of people get caught up in the niche thing when I think there's a lot of power in variety as well. Also, you don't get pigeonholed by that niche. So when that niche goes out of relevancy, like let's say you are a 2K player, there's going to be that dip where the 2K stops to matter anymore, like what's happening to CaseOh, and you need to find something else. Otherwise, you're going to end up like one of these channels that has only that niche. And when the content dries up, I've seen it with Halo creators, where there was that 6-year gap. So you had Halo 5, and content was peak. Complaining about Halo content was peak. Everything was peak because they could consistently ride that wave. But then there was a gap. Long gap. 6 fucking year gap. Then it started back up. And it was just about like replaying the games you've already played, redoing this you've already done, because your fan base expects this one thing from you. They come to you for Halo stuff. They don't come to you for a million different other things. It's just one thing. You brand it around one thing, and it pigeonholes you. It pigeonholes you, and it will stimulate or ruin your growth.
The idea of streaming had been in Case's head for 7 years. He had seen Nadeshot play video games for a living and knew he wanted to do the same. He had actually bought equipment in 2015, made a few YouTube videos, but then stopped. Why? CaseOh had the worst internet. He also worked 2 jobs and lived dreading the next day that he had to go to work. And the culture behind wanting to make a living as a content creator was nowhere near as solidified as it is today. This stream was nothing but looked down on. Not a single thing was going right for Case. For 7 years, the equipment sat. Case continued to deal with life, family obligations, financial burdens, and bad internet. Even one day at the dollar store, his card declined. He ran out of the store ashamed. His mom had heard him complain about work repeatedly, day after day, week after week, and taking a car ride with him, September of 2022, told him to give streaming another try. He had the equipment, he just had to start stream.
Well, the reason that I gave it another shot again in general was because of my mom.
It only takes one person to see you, know.
I'm so lucky for what I have right now. I work a full-time job. I go into my 9 to 5, do my thing, and then I come and do this YouTube shit on the side. And I also take my weekends, and one of my weekend days is making a YouTube video for my Friday upload. I sit down and I edit everything. And if it wasn't for the support of my wife, and like, obviously my daughter is fucking a baby, so she doesn't know how to support shit. She just stares at you. Ta-ta! And it's cute as fuck. And honestly, the best part of my day is when I come home and I get to see her smile at me, and nothing's better than that. If I had to choose between YouTube right now, if over tomorrow I wake up and this stream had a gajillion fucking views, it was pushed into the algorithm harder than anything else in the goddamn world, and I had a choice between choosing that moment when I get home, when I see my family, or streaming, if I had to choose between those, I would dip this shit in a minute. But luckily, my family supports me. My wife supports me. Even with all my gross jokes and everything that she has to put up with, she's amazing, and she stays there, and it's like, it's what matters. It's about the people around you being supportive of what you do. It's so important. I mean, that's why this stream I have of being successful on this platform stays alive, is because I have people in my corner fighting for me. And I think, and I do feel bad for people out there that have this dream too, and they're like, oh, I don't know what to do. And I try to, I've tried to do anything with people on my Discord, even though my Discord can get kind of toxic. I'm not like, it goes crazy. I don't know what happens on that thing. I've always been vehemently for free speech, so I try not to censor things to the most part. I don't want any NSFW, and I don't want the N-word on my Discord, but I usually allow everything else, and I allow the chat to kind of bicker amongst themselves to figure out problems, and I will input here and there to try to direct the conversation in the right direction. So my Discord is kind of crazy, but if you ever want like advice, I will happily DM you and like talk to you about your channel, and get you in contact with other people to try to get you at least talking with other YouTubers. I mean, it's always about having people in your corner, and even if you just like watching my videos and it's helping you out, like if I can help one person, that's great. Even if like my jokes help you, like when I do tell jokes, this is kind of at a drier fucking run. This is shooting blanks and hoping for a kid. This has been kind of dry on that aspect as far as stream, but I feel like always look for inspiration everywhere you go, and if you don't have those people fighting for you in the corner, prove them wrong. Prove them wrong and follow your dream, dude. I think that's what makes this country great, is you have the ability to follow your dream at any moment, and you should. You should. There's millions of success stories every day, every second, and don't give up on your dream ever. And like, I don't know. I feel really blessed with the people I have in my life, the people I have in my corner every single day.
You and push you to take that extra step. If that day CaseOh had ignored his mom, shrugged it off, rejected her idea, he would still be a nobody. Except the mere success of CaseOh proves this isn't true. His explosive growth, his humbleness, and kindness remaining consistent despite of his success, and the pain points he endured for years, similar to our own, proves. Whether you have 2 fans or 6.3 million, every so-called nobody has always been a somebody.
That's cool. This is a really inspiring video. Not very long, very to the point. Give Humphrey McDumphrey some love. I mean, he hasn't uploaded a lot. Seems like he's making kind of inspiring content.
There are 3 things that happened.
This was from a month ago. I hope he keeps making content. This is good. Maybe do a little more long form, do some like actual breakdown stuff. I think this guy has a lot of potential to be a really good creator. But the message here is so valid. Just go out there and do it. Just keep working. Just keep grinding. Just like, don't give up on yourself, and build people around you. Look for people around you that are going to build you up as well. If your parents aren't supportive, because I know there are people out there that don't have supportive parents, find people that will support you. Not like, maybe not financially or whatever. Don't be a leech. Don't be a fucking like gooner where you're just sucking off of the tit of them. But find people that are willing to fight in your corner and believe in you and say, hey, you can do this. Keep doing it. Just keep grinding. That is the most important thing I want everybody to know, is the grind is real. And if you can keep on that grind and keep getting better day by fucking day, you will see success.